they too have some other interesting things. We were mentioning also like collaborations in general. Nick and Alisher are people that you should be tapping. I know that Nick is helping Julie Todd and Rutro and Dan work on something. These guys are really smart and very gifted, and they will work for cookies. Um, no, I'm just kidding. But definitely, if there's something that you're thinking of and you need to have those kinds of pieces in place, really look to your left and your right and think about the building blocks that you have to work with and the expertise in the room, because like I said, they're going to be the ones that are going to notice if your slip is showing, right? They're going to be the ones that notice if your zipper's undone, proverbial speaking, or in the public square. We want to make sure that all of your websites, your projects look their very best, right? And when you tap people who know their stuff, like a Nick and an Alisher and Ross, they're going to point out things. And I hope that each of you take that criticism with grace, because ultimately each and every person that is in the speaker role or in the classroom, we want your very best. We want your best outcome, and we want to make sure that you have your very best foot forward. So in that case, we're gonna maybe be critical to some extent, but not to the point where we're make you cry or anything. We just want you to have your absolute best in front of the public square. All right, so I think we are almost there. I think Rutro is on her way up. For those of you in the audience that may or may not know, that we are on a 10-second delay, and some of the stuff that we go over tonight might be irritating, and you want to have a in time or real time kind of narrative. So come up into the speaker role so you don't have the delay. And if you're watching the Twitch stream or the live stream here in X, I will retweet it shortly. All right, I think we got everything. Ross, where is the link?
I'm
still not seeing it.
You want to see it?
Go ahead, hon.
You don't see live stream? That's
I
weird.
see it. It is now there. Okay, excellent. Excellent. I'm handing the mic off to you. You sound like you're in a tunnel.
No, I'm good. I was just charging my phone because Twitter absolutely murders my cell phone. So who did their homework? Just kidding.
Wait, where
I
did
don't
the
need you
live
to
stream
tell me.
go?
But I need you to put your link in Slack, and live stream went. It's here. It is here. But yeah, I need to see what you guys launched. So did you launch the front end? Question mark.
I honestly can tell you that no, I didn't. I wanted to, but there were adjustments being made, and I was having trouble. Thus is why I made an appointment with you so that I can understand what's going on.
Okay, yeah, that's fine.
I can easily catch up.
Yeah, for sure. We'll help you. I just want to know who actually did it. It's really important. So if you did do it and you did the homework, this is your time to put your link. And then we're going to talk about some news from like the world. But did you do your homework? I need to see the link. If you did in season 8, I did an impact in Slack. So if you launched it on Vercel, that was the homework.
I'm jumping in real quick. I see you, Crazy Jack, and I'm glad that you're here. Folks in the audience, if you are not in the Slack channel and you have not signed up from the beginning of this class until this moment, we are going to reserve the speaker spots for the students. So you're more than welcome to stay. We love it when you do, and have you in the audience members. But please don't take offense or get mad at us if we're not bringing you up, because this is a class. It's a digital makerspace, and so for all of our guests here, you are welcome. You are welcome anytime. If you have questions or are confused about what we're up to, definitely use and abuse the purple bubble down below. But in terms of speaking roles, it's just for the students, because they have a lot of work that they need to get done in the next couple hours. And those that have done their homework are going to definitely show it off, but then they're going to plow through a bunch of stuff. So I just want to put that out there. I see you. We love you. And just know that if you do want to participate, obviously sign up for next season, because next week is our last class. So it's not, when Jane said I can catch up, she actually can, because she's been here for 4.5 weeks beforehand. And this is just one little piece of the puzzle. To the average person that's coming in today for the first time, you will not be able to participate in this class this time, but that's okay. You can still watch all of the videos and see what we did over the course of the last 5 weeks. And of course, visit next week and see what the final projects are. I see that Sharon has her hand up. How are you, my love?
Hi, I love your dogs, Sarah. I would love to see images of them. That would be so cool. You know, I lived in Germany and I had a couple of friends that had farms and they had these big, gigantic, perfect, beautiful dogs. I would love to see your dogs. But anyways, I wanted to ask Ross, do you want us to put the link in Slack or here on X?
Slack is good. And
Say it again.
Slack and X are both good. Just tag me on it.
Okay. I'll put it in the comments. Okay.
So yeah, post your links. I want to see them. The homework officially was to deploy it. Extra credit if it's different colors and change.
I didn't change anything. I'm sorry. I'm so busy launching my app that I built with the machine. I'm going to be rich.
How's the machine going, by the way? How's that been?
Say it again.
How's the machine going? Interesting, fun?
It's crazy. It's building my business right now. And soon I will be going to the restaurant with my friends while the machine does work. That's how it's going to be.
That's crazy.
Thank you.
So I only see one person, and that is Cash Money Kev, and it looks so cool. It's blue. Oh, hold on. I think Nick just came and saved lives. Did you get Red Bull? Yes. Oh, you're saving lives here. Talk to the 100 people for a second. Yeah.
Hello, how's everyone doing? Sharon, honestly, I'm glad you're putting the AI machine to use. Now you gotta make them work. Someone requested. Okay. And also, thank you, Sarah. The cakes and the muffins, they came today, so.
Oh, you send them cakes again? Oh, those are the best.
Well,
She's so good at that.
Sarah's special. She's like the best.
Yeah, she is. Yeah, she is. And it's even more special when I get to go there and try it out too. Love you, Sarah.
And Cash Money, I'm looking at your site that you just made using the AI machine. What was something? This isn't it?
Project.
AI sprite sheet generator. Oh, nice.
Yeah, I kind of went niche, really niche with what I'm doing with my project, and I was gonna ask.
How did you? So what? I know you had hurdles in the beginning. Did you overcome those hurdles?
I am with the workflow stuff, and I'm just like simplifying it because I had. Okay, so like the end vision for this project is to have 5 different models you can make the sprites with, the sprite sheet specifically, and but I was having issues with like Rosebud and 4.2 of Llama and others, and just with actually specifically Mix Labs. And so I just dropped it down to one model, simplified it, and once I get the H42 model going, then I'll move on to the rest. Because I think Mix Labs nodes, like you said, company UI updates, all the time throughout the day, like multiple times a day sometimes, and the nodes don't get updated, and they'll break your machine, and you have to rebuild it and whatnot. So I'm trying to work around that / find different nodes. But also I was going to ask, should we in these at the end of our projects, should we keep this powered by Pixio A100 GPUs at the top? I think we should, just so they know what's in the back end.
In the end of the day, it doesn't matter, because if you're paying for the Pixio API, you don't need to mention it anywhere. But if you're not, then it won't work anyways. It's just a website. So you could leave it. It does help, but it doesn't really matter. But when you're actually in production, you wouldn't have it there, because you would have your own brand. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I just didn't know if we should be flexing off the A100 GPUs that are running the backend for our projects or not. Also, Sarah, are you? I saw that you had a connection issue. Are you okay? I'll test your mic.
So only one person do homework? Is it only you, Cash Money Cow?
I put it in yeah, but I didn't choose the color, so.
Share.
You gotta
And
find,
some,
I only see one in Slack.
well, I put mine in the comment section, but mine is not as cool
Okay, I'm like-
as Kev, so please don't judge me, okay?
I mean, we're gonna judge.
You know,
Let's see. Wait, which one's Sharon's? Oh, this one. What did Julie say? Hold on, let's see.
Anything, I just launched it. I'm sorry, couldn't do the.
Fine.
I'm testing this.
Okay.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
yes.
Excellent. I did a couple laps. Continue, Ross. I'm sorry to interrupt.
So, Julie, if you put your code on Vercel, it'll just work. It won't have anything to do with your antivirus.
Ross, I'm not sure if everybody, but you're probably going to go through that. The people that couldn't launch it, I forgot what I changed to make it long. Oh, we had to do the database, right? Those
Yeah, so
functions in Supabase. That's how we launched it. Okay, I
I
understand.
need to
Okay.
get like understanding really quick. So I'm gonna assume everyone in here is in Slack. So I want you to go there, right? And if you type the word me and hit enter, that means you either one, couldn't launch it, two, life got in the way, too busy, or three, just actually didn't do it. So if you did do it, don't type me, but put the word me in Slack right now if you're one of those three buckets. Because that would stop you from moving forward right now, unfortunately. And you would have to do that. So that means we're going to lose a week, which is what I anticipated. And if you did do it, you'll be able to progress. So I need to get an understanding of who's where. So if you could, help me out and put the word me if you're in any of those buckets of people. This is important. So like either way right now, there should be a lot of me's in Slack. The only way you're not putting me is if you're absolutely not participating at all and just could care less. And this is just like, you're just hanging out, which is fine. But like, I need to see all the me's that are here trying to do stuff and either failed, couldn't do it, didn't do it, one of those things. Because without that, it's really difficult to gauge like what's going on, who needs resources, and who's earned the ability to move forward right now. And if it's like just Cash Money Kev, then it's exactly where I thought we would have to do, which is kind of lose a week and launch this. Because Comfy UI is, I mean, the point of having the Comfy UI is to connect to this. So if you don't understand how to launch this or understand how this works, that's a problem. That's the whole web interface. That's huge.
And folks, just so you know, there's no shame in not knowing, right? We totally get that this is nights and weekends for a lot of you folks. And sometimes when you hit a speed bump, guess what? You can't progress. And one of the things that this class specifically helps you with is your communication. Nick, Alisher, and Ross are not mind readers, and we don't know if you're struggling or not. And it's very hard for some folks. You kind of have to check your egos at the door and just, you know what, Sharon, I'll use Sharon as an example just because Sharon and I are good friends. But one of the things that she has as a superpower is she has no shame in saying, Ross, I don't get it. Nope, you didn't say it right. Or nope, it's not going to happen. And part of the reason why I enjoy and appreciate her presence so much is because she breaks the ice and she makes it so that it's acceptable for other people to do the same. And that's kind of what we want you to do. So if you didn't finish your homework, that's fine. You know what? No harm, no foul. This is your choose your own adventure. You get exactly out of it what you put into it. And so we're all kind of learning, and sometimes it is podcast mode, right? So let's say you didn't finish your homework and you hit a snag, or maybe you don't know what Ross is talking about. That is okay. You can come up and say, you know what you're saying doesn't make sense to me. It might be the same thing that we're thinking about, but maybe you're using the terms that I don't understand or whatever. We want to make sure that you are, equipped with all of the right, not just the skill set, the right vernacular, the right, kind of, as he's saying, interface, right? We want to make sure that you understand what you're doing, because ultimately these building blocks, when you get a digital backpack filled with awesome and you don't know what that awesome is, that's a problem. And so we want to make sure that you're coming up. So if you didn't finish, give us a thumbs up, give us a thumbs down, or just fill us into where you got. That's the other thing too, is because we're trying to end this session or this season next week, but maybe you guys are at a point where we'd have to tack on a week. We could do that too. I don't think the boys would be particularly upset about that. We've done it before. And so, we need to know those kinds of things. So if you are in the speaker box and you're able to speak, because we do know that some of you are just here because you want to hear it in real time. Can you fill us in how far you did get, and then where your stumbling blocks are, and then what your next move is to get closer to the end game, if that makes sense. Sharon, did you have your hand up? I didn't know if you did or not.
Oh, no, that's probably a fake hand.
Oh, excellent. Well, I'm smacking you a high five. Did you have anything to add or talk about in terms of, because you are working on another project that is like real life project, got it. With this project, how far are you? And, kind of the bells and whistles, if there was any hang-ups, and then we'll go around.
Can we go like around the room?
That's what we're trying to do. I'm starting with Sharon. Well, actually, Morgan just put her hand up. I saw it. I don't know if it's a real hand. I'm smacking her high five.
I did.
All right, go.
So I for some odd reason wasn't able to. I forget what day it was. I put it in the Twitter messages. There were a couple of us who couldn't log in, and I don't know why I could not get the API TSI site to work for me. And after that, I forgot and didn't get to ask again to be let in. So, but no. So this is week 5, right? We still have another week left. So tomorrow we still have an 11 a.m.
We do.
Right. Okay. So I would like to go to that one as well. I know I don't get to make those that much, but where did I get? I got to. I'm trying to remember where I got to. Where did I get to? We were Superbase. I'm all set up with Superbase because I've been using Superbase for a while. I forget what the other one. You may want to come back to me because I'm trying to remember. I'm sorry, guys. I'm leaving a cleaning job. and I'm in my car. So otherwise I would be on my computer and show you where I'm at. But yeah, so I apologize. I'm trying to remember what the other thing was
It was
though.
it was
The
Stripe,
other
Morgan.
platform.
It was Stripe and Vercel.
It was just that's right. So it was Vercel because Stripe I have set up, Supabase I have set up. It was the Vercel part. I did not. Yeah, I think I got to like right before I was supposed to get to that part.
Morgan,
because I was looking forward to changing the UIs, you know, like and changing the all the cool stuff. So
I don't know if you guys
Yeah,
can
I did
still
not
hear me or not, but
I can hear you, Sarah. Sorry.
excellent. But one of the things that Morgan brought up, there were a number of you that were unfamiliar with Supabase because this was your first class or your first season. And that is kind of an important detail. So if you did not get Supabase all squared away, that is, you need to be on stage now because I do know that we did have one student I think actually had to go back to the second season or first season to kind of learn about Supabase. So if that is you, make sure you come up because we want to make sure that you understand it because it's a powerful tool. We've got lots of things in our toolbox that you want to know. It's Vercel, same. So okay. Thank you, Morgan, for explaining that to me.
Of course.
While you're
Thank
in the
you.
car, I love you.
Sorry, guys.
That's okay. Rutro, fill us in on where you are, love, if you can.
Yeah, I couldn't take it off mute. I'm right there. I'm sort of a weirdo. I always do pretty last, and so I don't really think about that front end. I've sort of done other kind of homework, and I was really hoping to work on the workflow. So my bad. I got my Supabase, I got everything except for Stripe hooked up, so I did not launch to Vercel. So I'm ready to rock and roll and see how we can do more with the front end. And yeah, so front end is a little hard for me, so I tend to do that last. But I did create get like a branding thing for my little idea. So yeah, I'm ready to go, ready to
Well,
listen and learn.
I would say start figuring out the launching part. We're gonna have to go over it again, and we're gonna have to go into like how to change the front end a little bit so you guys understand. It's really important that the front end is at the like top of your list, guys, because the API, I mean, it's going to handle the back end completely. It's going to literally lease you GPUs and leverage them to run workflows. I mean, it's literally set it and forget it for workflows. But the front end is really important here because if your workflow requires uploading an image, well, guess what? You got to figure that out like now. And that the homework was to basically figure out that part. You have to do this before you do the Comfy UI stuff. Of course, for some of you, it won't matter, right? Because some of you have the API and have purchased it, so you're able to just use the GPUs. They are returning back online, but if you have not completed the front end, that means your GPU is not turning on until you do. Because we just
And when did that become a thing?
huh? When did what become a thing?
You have to do your front end in order to turn the other thing on. Yeah, my whole thing, I was just going to worry about that last.
Yeah,
I
well,
found
we can't.
a few little nodes to put on my little workflow.
Yeah, no,
to
I understand
complete it.
exactly
Yeah.
what you mean. We just can't do that because instead of working on our code when we had the opportunity, a lot of people decided to use Comfy UI. And that depleted our grant, like I told you last week. Remember?
Well, I didn't do that.
I
But
know
okay.
you didn't do it, but it affects global, like everyone. It's not a particular person. So we need to conserve resources, right? So we need to do it the correct way so we don't have to go backwards. So we need to finalize the front end if we want to actually go to Comfy UI and start using it again. This is because we have depleted our resources until I get word that season 9 will be able to have another grant. But if you do have an account on the API and you pay for your GPU, you are not affected by this. But this is not like a choice or not like a gotcha. It's just how it is. We had a certain budget for GPUs. Unlike every other season, this is probably the most insane one.
So if you didn't get a workflow, you're sort of dead in the water and can't move forward. Is that what I'm hearing?
You just gotta complete the front end, get to a point where you're done, and then we will manually turn you on. We just have to conserve our resources. That's all. So we got to get to the point where like you're done with everything on the front end. And I thought we were going to be there, but we're not there yet with a lot of people.
And if you're having issues, guys, and you're behind with the Supabase and stuff like that, be sure to go into the README because Alisher did and TSI did a really good job. It's really simplified, step by step. They don't skip over anything. It's amazing, honestly, because I didn't know anything about edge functions in Supabase either, and I was able to get that in that same very night. So also, I see Jack, your hands up. Sorry, Ross.
No, I was just gonna say like it. I know it's not the best news in the world, but it's just kind of like reality. We had a budget with our GPUs, and we just superseded it. That's all.
And Jack, were you gonna share your link or something about your project, or did you have a question for Ross?
Yeah, no, I just wanted to provide a quick update that I'm in the same boat. I'm at a trade show, had to get prepped for that, so I have not worked on that front end either. So for his planning purposes, just so he's aware. Of course, I don't want to hold anybody else up.
Yeah, no, you're not holding anyone up. Are you busy today, or are you just like here listening?
Yeah, no, I'm pretty much in listening mode because I'm still there. But you know, if you are planning on doing that today, I can do it. So if that's what you're talking about, I'm sorry.
You can or can't?
I can.
Oh, yeah.
So if you're gonna switch gears and everybody work on the front end, I can do that.
Yeah, no, we're definitely going to do that for sure.
Okay. Yep. So I just want to let you know that's where I stood.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
Since I was down in listener.
Yeah, man. Look, life, does get in the way, but we never expected the amount of people to come and like join. It was pretty crazy. So I knew in week 3 that we might have potentially a problem because I would be like sleeping and the things were lighting up at like 3 a.m.
Yeah,
and I'm like, okay, you could be working or you just could be generating. Because it's like kind of crazy to have access to the A100 and just be able to slam the button as many times as you want.
Yeah. So whatever you need to do, I can be flexible, but I can work on the front end today if that's what the class is.
Yeah, we kind of have to because pretty much nobody worked on the front end, pretty much. And everyone focused on Comfy. And that was not the expectation, but it is what happened. Which is fine. But anyone who's listening, the announcement will affect you if 1, you can get your front end launched and you're ready for the next step. Or 2, oh my God, just reading this. Or 2, you do not need that sort of step between you and you already have an account and you have your own GPUs already, then you can just use them. It doesn't matter. This doesn't affect you, but the following statements do. So, actually, we gotta do one thing really quick. Also, anyone know what happened with Comfy UI? Let's go. Anyone?
They updated it a bunch of times.
Anyone know what actually went down?
No.
No AI news people? Where are you guys?
I heard they integrated a bunch of APIs with a bunch of people.
Okay, what else did they do?
Was the last I heard.
Okay, so new APIs, a lot of updates. Anyone know the most noticeable change?
Just spell the T. I'm frustrated.
Huh?
Just kidding.
Well,
I said, just spill the
noticeable
tea.
meaning visual. So they've rebranded.
They went for their 8-bit,
So if you're looking at live stream, this is the new brand.
Well, didn't they?
they
Didn't they get a
rebranded?
lot of funding
So
though?
they're
I
not
think that's
called
part of it
Comfy
too.
UI anymore?
Oh, they're called comfy. It just looks strange.
Oh,
I think that they got an influx of capital. I think that there's going to be some more changes too. But I'm fully intending on learning a little bit more tomorrow because I do know that I thought that what Jack said was accurate, is that they got a lot of new trinkets and trash to play with.
Well,
But I'm sure you know the insider
Well, I
traps.
just know that there's just like a lot of changes that are happening. There's new nodes. They're creating this baseline of nodes, which is actually pretty cool. So, like in theory, you could buy $1,000 of comfy credits and then use them with your own GPU, not your own GPUs, because not a lot of people have A100s, but like with our GPUs, and you could construct pretty like commercial industry ready stuff now because you can combine like upscaling and LoRa's and all that with like Kling, which is pretty cool, like the latest stuff. So you can use GPT-4o image gen inside your workflows and upscale to 4K, 8K. It's going to open up a lot of potential commercial use. And at the forefront is, of course, in the middle, Comfy UI and their new branding and their entire new system, which as of 33 minutes ago is now officially supported on the Pixio API, which means we support version 34 of Comfy UI and all 133 nodes, which is pretty cool.
Wait, Ross, does that mean Mix Labs won't be broken?
Probably yes. I would say yes. So it's important that we understand the value of time, because a lot of us would not attribute themselves to $300, right? You wouldn't be like, oh, I spent $300. How did I do that? You know what I mean? But like, we have to understand the value. And so like, we could have had more if we didn't like slam Comfy. And by we, I mean all people in week 1 through now. And it was a free for all. He gave it to everyone, and probably bad idea. So we'll see how we're going to do this next time around. But infrastructure like this, we've never done. This is the most expansive sort of infrastructure giveaway we ever did. And so that's why it's a new requirement, because we have to have people only using the resources when they're needing to. You know what I mean? And of course, if you have your own GPU, ignore me. You can go slam it 100 times right now. The brand new, Comfy number 34. But
Hey Ross, I did write you up. I wrote you guys up something from just like a how much I enjoyed the class and stuff
that's
like
good.
that, and
Yeah,
just because you
it
said
does.
that that
It
could
does.
also
Yeah. Well,
help
a few of you
for
did. I
getting
saw
more
like 4 of you do that. That does make a
Okay.
difference.
Yeah, I have to send it to you when I get home.
What really makes a difference is like 30, not 4, but it does help.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, I'll get that to you as soon as I get home, which is about 20 minutes.
Epic has
Yeah,
his
sure.
hand up, love.
Shit, I didn't even realize I had my hand up. Sorry. But anyway, I
Language cat.
yeah,
language.
I'm sorry about that. Also, I am also guilty about not getting my homework done on the super base stuff, because mine wouldn't initially launch when we were going through it last time. But I remember it from past classes, and I know I can grasp it and go on. But if you want to show real quick again how to do it, that would be great.
Yeah, we're gonna.
If not, yeah, if not, though, go ahead. But also, I can go ahead and put all that info into my machine and get it done. Also, right?
Yeah. So with the machine, what you would want to do is not give it all the code. You would want to give it like, let's say, what's working on the landing page, so like the components or whatever, and you can ask machine to like change this completely and describe what you want it to be, and then it will shoot you back a code you can just put in VS Code. It'll maximize your machine time.
Yeah, I got you. But as far as the regular homework, I did that. The link was working last night, but now it's not.
What do you mean not?
It deployed. I deployed it and whatnot, and I
Well,
posted the link. I posted the link in the chat,
yeah, but
and now
it's
it's
deployed
just
well.
going to the port error.
We have to
The
put
what?
it on Vercel.
I got you. I remember. And actually, I need to come up with a whole new Vercel account or delete all my old stuff because none of that crap actually is working. So I got some catching up to do.
Yeah,
But
you
I
could.
remember all this
I
stuff.
wouldn't delete it because then you could run into issues with like them thinking you're like insane and not real. So I would just go in and Vercel and delete any projects that you want. Or just be like me and just not care and just open up a pro account and then it wipes it away anyways.
How much is the pro account?
It's cheap. It's like $20.
$20?
Yeah.
That's it?
Well,
No, that's not bad.
it's good if you're going to be hosting like real stuff, like I do, like we do.
All right, I'll probably go that route.
And by the
because
way, just so you guys know
I
how
think they kind
cool
of banned me a little bit.
how cool Vercel $20 is. Machine runs on Vercel $20 a month. Crazy.
That is actually crazy. Jack has his hand up, just in case you
I
didn't
didn't
see
see
it,
it.
Ross.
Okay, super quick. I don't know why it went back up. That's weird. But anyway, I am hosted on Vercel. I have the multiple products configured in Stripe and all that. So I forgot to mention that earlier. And I just realized I have my work computer with me, so I am now installing VS Code on it really quick
That's cool.
to make sure I can do that.
Yeah, I'm gonna
Anyway.
force it from the beginning, I think, because I don't know where mine is. And we're gonna basically really concentrate on not connecting everything because we did that. We're gonna concentrate on like changing things using AI and like how you should be changing things because you can really do whatever you want in theory. But what you really want to do is customize it completely to whatever your product, startup, brand is. So it's going to be like a little coding with AI. And if you launch your website and you would like to proceed into Comfy, all you have to do is send me your link to your website. I'll review it, make sure it's like good. I can log in, and then we will slowly start bringing people back online because we just literally just turned it back on since the major upgrade. Also, if you do have a GPU, like a paid account, please go to machines, do a refresh, and you will catch the new version.
Who made that on the stream? That looks so good. Who did that?
That's
I'm
Comfy.
sorry. Oh, that's Comfy. Oh, I thought someone made that. Okay, well, it's still good.
That's the new branding. Yeah, they changed their whole brand. They changed a lot inside Comfy, and they broke the API. So it had to go down and get fixed. But we had to make sure like people that were paying were not going down. So we had to stay up for like 3 days straight to make sure paying subscribers never actually went down. And we only depressured the servers by bringing everything else down while we upgraded, which was good. It worked. So no, anyone that like actually had an account never experienced downtime, which is, I'm proud of that.
That is amazing. And that just goes to show what kind of people you guys are. Yeah. Thanks so much for that. I just didn't touch it. I'm like, I'll just let that happen, but I wasn't even aware because I am one of these paying customers.
Yeah, like you didn't even know.
I didn't even know. That's awesome.
And I'll be sharing details in the Slack of the new Comfy version so you can try it out. It's actually really good, Sharon. It's like 40% faster too. It's crazy. And now you can use Runway and Kling and Minimax and Luma inside. It's so crazy. Anyone have a question while I'm going through what's going on?
Dan has his hand up, hon.
Oh, I don't see that.
Hey, can you hear me?
I can.
Awesome. So I'm just kind of tuning in. I'm on my 3-hour drive from 12 miles past the middle of nowhere to Reno to catch my flight home. But I just wanted to kind of check in with the projects and what did you? I might have missed it. Is there a deadline for the projects? Was that today, or is that like in the next week before the?
So basically, it's not a deadline. I mean, you could do it until next week. It's fine. It's just we can't progress you guys onto Comfy until you're like absolutely ready. Because a lot of people
Right, and-
waited till the very last second and just been using Comfy.
Yeah, so that's my like I haven't been using anything because this was a big filming week, but my plan is to do it this weekend because I've got 2 major projects that I want to
Yeah, you're
finish
good.
up and actually host. Okay, sweet,
Just actually go through the code, launch it, and reach out.
awesome. That's the plan. And when appropriate, whether it's now or later, I have a 3-hour drive. I do have 2 student impact stories from using Machine, just from this trip alone. So I can tell some
Do it
stories
now before we
whenever it's
start.
appropriate.
Do it now.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So first of all, I was the last commitment that I had on this trip was to teach a no-code gaming class using a different platform to an alternative ed school. So it's basically a continuation school, and there are students that are just kind of left out of a lot. And I specifically reached out to them because I knew that, and I came in and gave this. The no coding class, and then I did some music stuff, and they were like, "Oh, we want to actually learn the code." I'm like, "Oh, sweet! So let me show you this fancy new toy called Machine, where you can actually make the thing while you're learning to code, and you can actually copy parts of the code and put it back into the loop, learn exactly what it does, say what I actually want." And so we made this little game called Horchata Piñata, which is just like a rice milk filled piñata that you like collect little medallions to be able to whack it and like break the piñata. But like it was so cool because they wanted to code in LUA, which I've never heard of. And then it just said, "Hey, Machine, do you do things in LUA?" And it's like, "Of course I do." So that was pretty amazing in itself. And then the other one briefly is within this class. We're filming it in Chicago next week. Everybody had a job for this music video that we're filming at the Griffin Science Museum of Industry and Science, and except one student, and it was because English was his second language, and he was just feeling behind. So I just kind of worked one-on-one with the student within Pixio, and I said, "All right, the song that we're writing is about the possibilities of the future and energy. So what are your thoughts?" And we were able to just using more of that picture language because visuals are powerful. Found out that he was really interested in demolition and in kind of taking down old systems to make new ones. And he's really into wind energy. So he created this image in Pixio that is now, it's an image of a wind turbine that is surrounded by like a Beautiful Mind style formulas. And it was just really amazing to see like that impact because, he was feeling left out in the dust. But it's just, when you just give them all the things at once, everybody is able to find a way. So I just wanted to, I'll put that in writing because I know I caught that part of the conversation. It's really important to have those stories and then to hear those stories from students. So that's what I'm working on in our BTS scenes. So just wanted to share that. And it's inspiring to me because it inspires others.
That's really cool, Dan. The Machine is like blowing me away. So I mean, I'm 6,000 minutes in and going strong. It is the most insane thing that I've ever used and created. And to see how all these different people use it is just so mind blowing. And we are working to even make it even more powerful. We're actually going to connect it up to some image generation soon. So you'll be able to ask for a certain thing, image with type on it or words. or a simple edit.
You're kidding.
Yep.
Dude, come on, bring it. Hurry up.
And guess what? There won't be like any API calls or tokens. It'll just be minutes. So if you can write a Python script to execute that tool to do 10 images, then it will do it.
I got you. I got you. Okay, I'm picking up on the alpha. I got it.
But it's going to be one of many new tools right into Machine. And I just think Machine is the craziest tool when it comes Where for art thou screen? It's just there. When did that happen? When did that happen, people? No one's gonna say anything?
It's actually been
No,
a hot minute.
yeah, it was for a while, but the thing is
All right,
that
well,
if
guys,
you
you ever
get
heard,
mixed
like,
out of the space, you can see it, but it's just frozen.
I
So
know, but like, if you see something, people say something.
I just refreshed actually, and it's still down.
same.
There's
Yep.
literally no way it's down right now. No way. If you see something,
It's down, Ross. The machine broke it.
malarkey.
Malarkey.
I literally see it here.
You're the only one, love.
No, I see it on Twitter. Refresh.
I see
Negative
it.
Ghost
I
Rider.
see it on Twitter.
Okay, yes, everybody has to refresh, and if you are trying to link into the previous tweet, yeah, you're gonna have to re-click it.
Okay, yes, now it's back up.
Okay, good.
I think you just fixed it. I think
Now,
it's always been black. No, it's black screen still up top,
still?
but
All right, hold on. I'm gonna refresh
it
it.
just shows that up top. It's just
And
you have to actually click on the tweet and then have it either picture in picture or, it being on your second device, whether it's a phone or laptop or iPad, and then you can do it that way. But it should be good to go, folks.
and Ross, I've been trying to sign in for the last 15 minutes, and mine won't sign in at all.
Sign into what? What are you signing into?
The same page that's on the right.
The right?
The left. I'm sorry.
The left. So you would have to have Supabase connected for this to work.
Okay, I did work on the edge functions and whatnot, but I sent a screenshot of my error message in my Superbase.
Just down. I'm gonna
That's
put the
what's
live
holding me
stream
up.
so you
I
guys
sent it
will be
in the
able to
Slack.
join. I'm
I didn't
looking.
hear what you said.
No, you can join in the live stream. But what? What is this? What are you showing me? What is this? Oh, good God.
My Superbase error. And I can't get past there because when I hit the run button or whatever it is, it gives me that
So
error.
you're saying that you take the SQL and you put it here and it doesn't work. That's like the first step. You got to sync your fork and get the new SQL. That's why.
All right.
Sync fork. Anyone else have this problem? Because it should work. I mean, should work. If you don't get past this, you can't log in. That's for sure. So if you can't log in, this is why. It should make complete sense.
Syncing the fork from GitHub, right?
Yep.
And I think that was my actual problem because I never did see a sync button. But I've got it in my GitHub.
So your GitHub, you could hit update in the fork and it'll work.
All right, I'm a big dummy. I see the sync fork now. I
You
got
see
it.
it?
Yeah, yep.
Cool. So everyone got this part done. The Supabase is like the first step.
I am not seeing any hands, honey.
Cool.
And then copy and paste to generate media handlers, TS, right?
What? No. This is the SQL. First do the SQL, then you can update your functions. Everyone understand?
I don't know if I understand that. What's why?
Oh God.
Why do I want to do that first and then the other? Am I missing something?
Yeah, you're missing the fact that you're trying to go back in time. You already did all this.
I know, but I'm still following along because, you know, if to learn.
The first step, which would be pasting the SQL here.
Can I ask maybe a nerd question? I'm really sorry, but I know that we used to do it differently, and Alisher said that this is the new way. So why did you guys change this? Is this more stable? Is this easier? What's the reason for this change?
Sharon. What's different?
Well, didn't we never done it with this. I find that this is really awesome. This is the first time I do this. This is awesome. I like it. I just want to know
With
why.
which specific part? With which specific part, Sharon? What's different this time?
Oh, the functions, the functions edit.
Yes.
That's new.
That is different. The reason we didn't do it before is because number one, 5 months ago this did not exist. And number two, is because our requests before never took more than a minute, right? When you chat with AI, the response, it's always less than a minute. So if you want something that you have to wait for longer, like a video, then you need to create something on the server side.
Oh my gosh. So so I would circumvent that and use Railway, but now we found the other way to do that timeout issue that we have with Vercel.
To circumvent this. Here's the difference. Here's the major difference. One is completely asynchronous on the front end, meaning you can leave the page and do whatever you want, close the website, it will still work. Versus if you're doing it in the front end, then you're locked in. Your screen is blocked. You can no longer have another generation, right? You have to wait in order to get the response. This is called non-blocking design. Is when things are done asynchronously and the screen isn't blocked to do like the next action. We talked about this last week a little bit.
So basically, like the person doesn't have to wait for it to be done. They could refresh, go to a different page, come back, and it's there.
This is how real apps are actually made. This is like the next iteration of design.
It's kind of like how like when you use Pixio and you make Laura's. Similar idea.
I was about to say, yep, because that's in Pixio, for example. Yep. Mm.
The reason we don't use it for everything is because it's expensive.
Correct. But as much as you guys are like kind of mad about us like depleting our budget, I'm actually excited. I think it shows the amount of interest in Comfy UI and doing things open source, and I think that is absolutely incredible. And I hope that never stops. And I'm just sorry I don't have like $1 bazillion and can just fund this myself.
I think we're not going to talk about it anymore. I'm just going to tell you. I know that sounds awful, guys, but here's the deal. We get it. We understand. And we'll have discussions behind the scenes. But for the rest of this evening, I know that I'm not the only one getting the DMs too. So the fact of the matter is that you're a nonprofit. And I think people really need to understand that. We don't talk about Tech in Schools being a nonprofit often enough, but if any of you have run a nonprofit, I know Dan has. I've been involved in numerous nonprofits in general. My industry is considered a nonprofit. Our robotics team is a nonprofit. And I can tell you, even from our robotics team, if we don't get the grants, guess what? The kids get a crappy robot because we still have to feed them. That's our sole mission, is to make sure that they're fed on the weekends. That comes first, right? Make sure they have clothes or boots and mittens, for the winter. And then whatever we have left, we will build a robot. And our robot, we've had manipulator arms that are dustpans, like actual dustpans. They get on the field and people look at it and go, what the heck is that? You don't even have a climbing mechanism? No, we have a ratchet because we had to think outside of the box. We had $14 left. We're using the shoestring. So for the rest of the evening, I understand. and we're not trying to diminish folks' struggles or, beat a dead horse, as the proverb is, right? But ultimately, Tech in Schools is a nonprofit, and to use up a grant and to do it as efficiently and as effectively as these three gentlemen have is really awesome. Most nonprofits pay themselves first. They pay themselves exorbitant prices. If you're looking at, check into the Red Cross, their head poobah makes $800,000 a year and they give less than 1%, right? So you have people like, let's say, Salvation Army. All right, their grand poobah makes $30,000 and they give 80%.
Wounded
Wounded
Warriors.
Warriors, same. So in this specific circumstance, these three gentlemen are literally living on a shoestring, and every square minute of their time and every dime of their resources is being poured into a room full of literally wall-to-wall computers so that we're able to use these things. So they're making huge sacrifices too, folks, and we get it. We understand it. But to keep pushing, it's not going to help. We're not going to dicker and deal behind the scenes. We're not making a lot of bargains. They have cut so many corners, and this is it. It is what it is. So use what you have on hand. Be absolutely incredibly grateful that we have so many sponsors that are allowing us to do this class. I mean, we have 32 people in this classroom now. I think we had 40 enrolled, and each of them have a $33,000 GPU at their disposal. We have regular mid-sized companies that have 100 or 200 employees that do not have that compute. So use what you have in the time that you have. It's an ephemeral thing. We say this every single Saturday night. We are all Cinderella, folks. And when the clock strikes midnight, guess what? We all go back into the pumpkin. We have the tattered duds, as they say, and our glass slippers. We might get to keep one or two as a twinkly little reminder that we actually, had a chance to dance at the ball with the big guys. And I think that's pretty cool that we get to sit at the table, enjoy a banquet, enjoy a meal, a 5-star meal amongst each other. And it's pretty special. So just hang your hat on that one and just know there are people, and I'm not going to share their stories, that will make you cry in attendance tonight. They don't have 2 nickels to rub together. Hell, some of these folks don't even have a roof over their head, and they still show up and they still use whatever they have on hand, and they are so hungry. And I can tell you, you really don't know what it means to be hungry for something, to want it so bad, unless you've starved. Because unless you've starved, you just don't understand it. So that's it. We're not going to talk about it anymore because we have things to do. We got projects to do, and we need to get it done. Got her did. All right, Ross, take it away.
So basically, if you did everything right and you did your SQL, the next step is you would see your database. If you don't see a database, that's like your first indication that you did something wrong. So you should see this. If you do, great. Now, when it comes to the actual website, there's a few different things going on. First, let me see if I could sign in, because I didn't config my URL. Yeah, let me do that. I'm gonna sign up. Hold on. I'm gonna turn off confirm email because I don't want to deal with that. I just want to sign up. So there's like homepage so far. There's login page that I've passed as a user. And then there's this. Now, a few things here. I'm guessing media library is freaking out because there's no media. Here's my credits, and here's what the UI looks like. Now, the idea is We have to see how Alisher did it. I'm guessing he broke it into components. But we don't want to launch with something that's actually on GitHub. You know what I mean, guys? We want to really concentrate if we're going to launch something and change it. Now, of course, it's not ideal to just be chilling in comfy UI. It's doable. Like those of you who have the subscription can log in and just use comfy UI, and that's okay. But if you need to do 100 images or 50 videos, ideally comfy UI would not really be the best because you're using RAM that could really go towards generating. So you would make a workflow on the front end and run it directly in the API. And you don't even have to use the front end like GitHub front end. You could do it in the dashboard of Pixio API. But you can't just say here, do 10. But in your own UI, you could say, I want to have a slider that says how many to generate. And then it would pull it and send it to the GPU and have them asynchronously. Super easy to actually use rather than going to the front end of the API, which you totally could do. So these represent your workflows. So like ideally, at the very least, before you could even launch or do anything, these workflows have to resolve to your workflows in Comfy UI. But even if they did, we still have to get the front end to be where it doesn't look like this. Like, I know it seems silly to like change color, but it's more than that. It's like, you want to change this completely. You don't really want it to look like what's on GitHub. Like, why would your service want to be on GitHub? Like, that's weird. You would want to make changes, especially a starter kit that's publicly available and labeled a starter kit. Now, of course, it doesn't matter at the end of the day because, you know, they're going to pay to use the GPU, your GPUs, but you definitely want to change it and more than just color. Does that make sense to everyone? That it's not just like put in your keys and go?
Affirmative.
Now, once it's launched, the first thing people are going to see is your homepage. So we have to go and see where the homepage is. So it looks like the homepage is going to be somewhere here in components. We're going to look through everything and become familiar. So on our homepage, the first thing we see is this sentence. So you can use this sentence to figure out where the homepage is. It's like the best idea ever. So you go here and this is your homepage, landing page. Now it looks like a big chunk. So it's about 1,000 lines of code and a big chunk. So if we were to take this code and be like, to AI Tutor, we can say, this is my landing page. And we could share it with AI. So AI can get an understanding of what our page is. Now it looks like there's not many components besides a UI card, and everything else seems to be here. So see, it knows. So AI is fully aware of like what this is. Now let's say my company or my brand is not going to be Pixio. It's going to be I gave it just a simple idea called Gen Run. So I'm having it redo this according to my new brand. And we're going to see what it does. I told it to change colors. We're going to see what it comes back with. So this is the home page. And then all the other pages are subsequently here. So login, sign up, We have to see what premium is. Dashboard, I can pretty much figure out. It's
Premium is an example page. If you want to
Oh,
start
okay.
from there, pretty much is subscription protect.
And account is just my account where I can manage stuff. So we're gonna see what it says it's doing.
Yeah, pretty much the way this works is how most of these modern Next.js apps work. It uses route groups, I think they're called. So everything inside of app is essentially everything you see when you're logged in. Everything inside of auth is all the login stuff. Everything inside of marketing is everything is before you log in. So pricing, any other pages, if you want to add like about page, blog, that's all going to be in marketing.
Here's where the amazing API stuff happens.
Actually, the only thing that we build is pay.
I know, it's good, amazing stuff. That's how you get paid.
I'm getting the gist of this now. I'm catching on.
Are you? I'm glad.
Yeah, I am. I am actually.
And you know, Smoke, honestly, whether you use Pixio API or not, like in production, this starter kit is basically everything you need. So all you need to do is bring your code that you've been like messing around with on machine, right? And then just tell it like, I want to turn this into a single page for Next.js. And then you bring it in here into your version of this, and now you can have like a comfy inside comfy.
10-4. I got it. I got it. I got
You
it.
can make a node-based interface instead of what we have. Or in addition to. So quick thing when coding with AI, I just got my code and it said function limit hit. It means that this code itself is more than 200,000 characters.
It's not.
Oh, I'm not using thinking. But basically it had continue. So I just basically go and I paste the code straight up on top. It's going to be totally broken. This is normal. And it's going to continue right under it. So it looks like feature card. It stopped at 2. So when this is done, I just can paste it right on top.
Yeah, back in the day, I was copying both sections and doing that.
You're hilarious. And yeah, one thing to think about potentially is breaking this code up into smaller chunks or just dealing with that it's giant.
But you do want to break it up into smaller chunks because then you are
Yeah.
increasing some of that speed. You're getting some better numbers in that first and full console full load. So
it loads
it's
faster
going to
for
be a lot
your
better for
users.
SEO.
And trust me, it's not just you. We all hate it. We all hate chunking. We much rather have a 7,000 page code, but it's just not real. You should never ever do that. Oh, wow. Nice. Okay. Now we need this code and we got to paste it on top of 2. So instead of 2. Right here. There we go. Let's see what. Oh, look at that. You see how it changed it? I like it.
I like that testimonials. Oh, right. They got rid of the other one.
Yeah. So this is like a good example of repurposing it. And I could even say like, let's change colors too and whatever, but there's probably other pages to change. But do you guys see?
That looks sweet, actually. It's very
This is
thorough.
the homework. The homework is to create something different. And then you don't really need AI once you're here. I mean, it's really easy. So see like ready to use AI models, Flux with Flora, right? That's dumb. No one cares about that. You know what people care about? I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna show you what people care about. This is what people care about. See?
If you spell it right.
Yeah, who cares about that? I'm just trying, like, you can spell it wrong, doesn't matter. You can eventually get it right. Now you see
Wait, can
how
you say it? Can you say what it is? Because I can't see it.
character consistency.
You were muffled. Sorry.
Character
I literally.
consistency.
Gotcha. Yeah, absolutely.
Now
Hell yeah.
it's kind of giant, right? So like the
Yeah.
text itself is handled somewhere else. So we would just like figure out where that is, right? But basically, you could play with the words too and like change it. But you want to change it to like what matters. So like this is stupid and doesn't matter. No one cares about Laura's. Jeez. Just like you want to say
I don't want to say no one.
well, your users won't care because they won't know what it is. You don't even want them to know what it is. You want to totally shadow exactly what's going on so that they're buying your product. It doesn't matter what it is. You want to change
Yeah,
the
but
words and the names that matter. Think of what we do with Pixio. Like, why is
That's
it
what I'm
called
saying.
like VidCraft HD and not clean? Because no one cares.
I mean, the fact that you could put in Laura's from like Civitai in Pixio, I think that was a huge seller for me. Like,
Yeah, but that's not what this product does.
You gotta think
right.
90% of people who don't know what a LoRa is, who just want
Yeah.
something, a product that would generate images for them in some context. Like
Right. They don't have to know the technicalities or anything. They just want it.
the storybook generated, they don't care that you're using OpenAI, what model you're using. All they care
Right.
is that it's an engaging story with some nice images that their kid will get distracted with.
Like 2.1 frame, who cares? Image to video, no one cares. You have to really think about the product as you build it out. And this is the homework, guys. It's to like work on this. Like, we don't want it to say like ready to use models. That's like so dumb. You want like,
Did we lose him?
no, he's typing, bro.
Oh no! I thought you were in mid conversation.
Oh my God, good to know. So you can put like AI features, something different. You know, you want to change it up. Like maybe you don't want this and you want real testimonials. So you can go to services like Senja and get those testimonials. Other services too. There's so many of them.
It's so hard to like stop about and think about what we care about because we're doing this and really like think about what
build with modern
the average
tech.
person does.
This is the number one way I know you didn't do your homework because really build with modern tech, stupid. This should be like OpenAI, Stability AI, Hugging Face, maybe like cool things that are like interesting. Not Tailwind, like who even cares, you know?
By
So,
the way,
like-
guys, has anybody figured out how to change the colors?
Cash Money did.
This is one of those things we kind of touched upon at the end of the recap last week, I think. I can't see hands. I can't see Russell.
yeah.
So whoever,
Sorry.
if anybody wants to call out, but you can't see hands on your phone anyway. I feel like
God. Yeah, right.
it's broken.
There are no hands up, and I think everybody is ducking so that you do not claw on them. That is what I think they are. I think that the prairie dog syndrome, they've popped their head up a little bit and they're like, please don't call on me. And so I think that,
It's bop-a-mole.
it
Bop-a-mole.
is. That's exactly what it is. It's a whack-a-mole at Chuck E. Cheese. So
And
Epic
to be
actually
honest,
volunteered to go. So
yeah,
yay!
yeah. Well, I'm outside smoking a cigarette right now. But to be honest, Ross, the machine, it threw everybody off. I have to admit that. It threw me off for sure.
It threw
The what?
it threw me off. Like I did not think it would even work.
That thing is working, man. It's working. I got my Comfy workflow project running on it right now. I need to go back and check it. I forget where it was at last minute. I think it was at 20 minutes or something like that.
Oh my gosh, Smoke, you speak. I'm like, I thought I was the LLM person, but this machine is just throwing me so off. But at the same time, it's catapulting us to some new dimension.
Yeah, my brain is just going like 24/7 with this thing now. And I'm trying not to fall down the rabbit holes, each thing that I discover, but it's like, holy crap.
It's gonna keep getting crazier, honestly. So the machine eventually is going to be able to do the connect to like the GPU and self-program it.
But I understand changing around the starter API. Just go into the freaking all the files and just start changing all the files around to the way that
just
you
like
want.
get in there. Stop being afraid.
So
Oh,
I got it now.
You know what?
README to the AI, and it will know where everything is from the README.
True.
Yeah, you know what?
The colors. It'll tell you exactly where those colors need to be changed. There's one file that controls them all.
I think, you know what, if we get better at this, so the thing is, my goal is now to reduce machine time, right? To get this machine so smart that I don't have to use that much machine time, right? So that it doesn't cost that much. I think that's going to be interesting if we can get this thing to just react really quickly and do things really fast because we give better instructions. I think that's going to be amazing then, because then more people can use it because then they see what they can do with less minute times at a time.
You could make a tool that with the machine that helps you lessen your time with the machine.
I was just telling the machine straight up, you got 5 minutes to get this project done. Do it.
Oh,
I mean, that
I didn't even think of that.
way. I mean, that could be the easiest way, but you just want to make sure that you get what you want, right? But that's definitely a test, as you guys were talking about a couple of days back. And if it does the best thing, right, in those 5 minutes that it has, but if it's completely broken, that would be sad. You know what I mean? But that's a cool test. That would make it way easier.
I didn't even think of that. That'd be funny. Like, there's a bomb in your system. You need to get this done less than 5 minutes, or you self-destruct.
I straight up told it that it costs real money to do this. So go ahead and generate it and get it done.
Yeah. I like it.
That's the problem with like things like machine. Is it costs like it's ridiculous. It's like not even fun.
Yeah, but I get it. It's doing things for us. Like, you know.
Well, I think it
It's
would
like
be
paying
cool
into
to
the
have a
virtual system.
library. I think it would be, yeah, I don't know. But I think if I have something really valuable, I might put it somewhere. Maybe we can use your workflow template, Ross, that someone else can grab it so that they don't have to prompt it from the beginning. I know that might sound stupid, but that might be something. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, like all this stuff is getting so crazy, but I mean, the general idea of things right now is just getting to a point that they're just getting more powerful and more powerful. And that's like where we are. Every day it's getting more powerful. And that's what's crazy, is that we literally can't keep up. And until now, I thought that the barrier was like prompting, and it's not. The barrier is like a cool program. That's what was missing.
Well, it just kind of shows you there too. Like, you still need people, obviously, behind this stuff. Like, you need more manpower now to pick up the telephone and help guide people for customer service.
Hey, but Ross, where are you? Where did you get all those cool icons? I've never been on that page. Please tell us.
I'm just running around the internet like a little psychopath, like I
Yeah,
do.
I want to know I want to see those icons, please, because I write the articles and stuff, right? I need this stuff. What is it
I
called?
just go online and I just search them and I get them. And because it's a SVG,
No,
Alisher,
Ross, you were just on a certain page. That's what I want to know. I know how to search. I'm not dumb, but where were you right now? That was a cool page because you had everything that I need in one spot.
this?
No, the other one. It doesn't matter.
This?
This one, there you go. Type mine, that where you just were. Go back.
This?
No, dude, you just lost it. No, go for, no, not there. You were the Stable Diffusion and the GPT, this one, where's that? What is that? What page is that?
Typingmind.com.
Custom typing, what? Typing mine. Okay, thank you. I'm sorry.
You're a psycho. You're welcome. So like basically you can see I'm customizing it. Look how cool this is beginning to look, guys. And this is just me actually like getting in there, like not being afraid to change the code. Like what's the worst that happens? It breaks, it's broken now. And then you
That's
can,
something I think about all the time. I'm like, I'm gonna break this thing if I get the code wrong.
yeah, but you
But
can't break it if you don't do anything. You gotta actually do something to break it. So don't be afraid. Here's this stupid comfy icon. Ew, it's gross. I kind of like the other one. This one. No. It doesn't go with our flow. We got a flow going on. And I guess that stupid thing does.
Just tell Pixio to make a new icon.
You know what's really funny? I could tell Pixio to like invert it too. Maybe. Let's try. Let's go, Pixio.
Oh, I didn't get to tell you guys either. I finally, so AI Arsenals was so that I could report tools. I finally was able to build a directory, and now I got TSI and Pixio and the machine featured. So I got you guys right up at the top of the directory.
That's what, well, I was gonna do this. Yeah. Choose transparent, maskless editing. Wherever this stupid new company logo is. There we go. And then I would say, and see, it's just yellow, and yellow is stupid, but okay. That's the color they chose. They did. All right, Pixio, we'll let you cook. Okay, so I'm just like going around the website, looking at things. So you can see, like, this is already done. Gen run. Like, it changed all this for me. It's one shot, AI Tutor, Claude. It just went in there and just totally reskinned all the text. So at least the text is good. So we got to do this. And obviously, this doesn't make sense for our business. We don't even know what we're charging yet. So we'll just leave that. This is just straight up lying. So the best thing here is to find some friends and be like, write me something cool to put on the website. Here's my prototype. Kind of like what we do with you guys. This is already looking okay, but I would want to change this even more. I'm thinking like a video here, an image here, like an example, and then like, I don't know, like a picture of like a person and then like another person side by side, but like the other person, same person, but doing something different. Showing some bento boxes. Yeah, some like coolness there. This is all right, kind of sucks. So we would probably want to change this. This is straight up not real. Because, well, I guess this is, but this isn't. This is not. This is lies. Straight up lies. This is okay. Any questions so far on what I'm doing? Check in with Pixie. Oh, look, it did it. Amazing. Wow. So good. So perfect. Exactly what I wanted to. Insane. Yeah. This is like the easiest thing to do, guys. This is the homework. It's not like meant to stress you out. It's meant to help you learn. Because learning is where the power comes. Where are we at here? Refresh. Oh, look, see? It's gross. So it doesn't look great because comfy is yellow and our website is like not. So we're going to say, and make the sea blue. We'll let that cook. Okay, so back to our changes. So we have to find this because it's like stupid. It doesn't make sense. So right here. This is all those things that we hate. I'm gonna AI tutor and be like, we're gonna have AI tutor whip up another section for that. And we're gonna go back to Pixio. Oh, it did it. So good. God, Pixio is proving to be so useful in this process right now. Like, very impressed. Gonna add a B for blue, B for blue, and it's gonna look amazing. And it does not look amazing. Oh, because it's stupid. I'm dumb. There we go. There it is. The C for comfy, now blue. Blending in, looking beautiful. Do you see? I just used Pixio to make it what I wanted, the color I wanted to fit. Now, let's say I don't even know what to put here for now. I could literally just comment this out and be like, well, I don't got nothing to put there for now. You know? So now it looks like nice. This is for things that we definitely would want to put publicly. Because that's cool. They carry brand recognition. Everyone following. Like you should be like doing it with me and getting that muscle memory. Ooh, we have a new section. Now we just gotta find it. So we said we hate this, I think. We do. We hate this. So we gotta find it. And we're gonna see if we can change it. We're gonna basically collapse this. It's actually super cool. See? Collapse. And then just paste. And then a whole new thing. So now it's saying something's not defined. Why is that? play. Okay. So let's see where icons are. We'll just put it here. There we go. Ooh. Oh, cool. It did change it. This is beautiful, actually. So I don't love this part. So the 6 cards are super ugly. But I like this idea of a gradient. So we're gonna do something. The 6 cards are super ugly. I want cards to have nice gradient BG. Oh my god, it's listening. No. There we go. And text readable white in a black fill. Make it super clean. I love the bottom part. Hate the cards. And the broken cards don't need images, just nice icons and ingredients looking nice. Now I'm gonna go to the page. Now part of saying like I hate this is good to talk to AI and like, he'll know, but really we just want to be like, I hate this. You see? We want to show him what we hate. So we're gonna do that. And then he's gonna hopefully go back and rejig that. Ooh. And so what we're gonna do is to prep for this, we're going to go here and just wait right here. That's what's next.
Ross, can we grab something from like 21st Dev?
Oh, sure, you can do whatever you want. You just gotta tell AI Tutor that you want to put it there. So you would be like,
Okay.
here's what I have. And then be like, say, here's what I have, study it, tell that to the AI Tutor. And then be like, well,
Okay.
now change it to this. And it'll do it.
Yeah. That's what I've been doing. But my problem is that when it just gives like a little, like just the part that I'm supposed to input, I then because I'm copying the whole code. Because sometimes I'm having a hard time finding what it is exactly that I'm looking for. And I'll be like, give me the whole code.
To do it in sections.
Yeah.
So like, this is saying cannot find image icon. I don't know what that is. So we're gonna see if just by putting it there it does anything. Doubt it. But we're gonna see. What is wrong with this thing? Let's see. Oh, look how nice that is, guys. This is so nice. This is what I'm talking about. This is what I asked for.
I love how excited you always get when these things.
Oh, that's cool.
Isn't that beautiful?
I'm sorry.
And notice
I got excited.
it changed everything, even like what it was saying, to be more attuned to being gen run. I love that.
Yeah, that looks cool.
Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. This looks so nice, but I'm so excited. I'm getting a domain on Cloudflare. I'm so sorry. I don't want to derail this, but the machine is just taking up my time.
It's sucking you in, Cher.
It's a good idea.
Don't want to suck in.
I'm like Smoke. We're just crazy. We're addicts at this point.
I guess it, dude. I've tried out 10 no-code builders doing the machine now too, and like I'm right there with you. Believe me. I've probably like made 30 websites already, friggin' like 5. I'm like learning more about making crypto bots, like finding out that there's like good mev bots and trying to create like good ones that create rewards and can stop those mev bots that front run you and stuff, do good things with them. Yeah, believe me, I'm right there with you guys. I'm nuts. we need like a nuts class. full speed ahead.
But this is beautiful, Ross. I love it. I'm paying attention with them. My left eye and my right eye is paying attention to Cloudflare in the machine. But I
look, machine is very powerful and definitely the future of what we think about when we think about AI. Like the true reality of what using AI could be like. I think the machine is the closest to that.
Yeah, I wonder, Cash Money, Kev, I love Cash Money. I love that name so much. But how did you do it? What did you use? What was your tool to change the front end or the design, the layout?
I was actually going to mention this earlier, but I'm a little conservative with my machine minutes. So I actually just went to AI Tutor and used Claude. And thanks to Alisher, really, every line is commented throughout the code, so it tells you what patch of code is doing what. And so I kind of also just searched, like Ross has shown on stream. I searched where the colors or any word like Pixio API. I searched for that to change out, and I gave the code if I was confused on how to change it myself. To Claude 3.7, and it one-shotted it. And that way you can save a little bit of your machine time too, because I know those are precious minutes for any of you guys out there.
I am so glad you mentioned this. I thought you were going to answer something like this. That's why I also asked you. First of all, I was very curious. I wanted to know how you did it. But hey, our LLMs that we have, if you don't have the machine doing these things, it might just take a little bit longer, but I put my stuff in VS Code and still play with it. That's how I do it most of the times too. I just let it do the project. I mean, 2 days ago, I did it differently and then I got in trouble from Ross. He said it doesn't make any sense to do it the way I wanted to do it. So I'm going to just do it even more. But if you have that Cloudflare account, right, and it's not too heavy, I think it's going to be really cool to just deploy it to Cloudflare, because you can do so many subdomains, right? I'm paying $5 to Cloudflare, but I have one main domain that I'm buying now for $7, but I can have numerous subdomains. That's awesome, for free, and all of that for $5. So I'm really happy. I'm excited. But I love the classical way. I still do that a lot, Kev.
I actually use started doing that myself and paying for a domain on Cloudflare, and I gotta say it's honestly really the best priced option I feel like that I found out there. Also, I've been using the Cloudflare deployment with the machine too, but I've been making scripts and whatnot. I've been doing what Ross mentioned last week, how you can ask it to one-shot giant templates for WordPress, stuff like that, plugins, and you can upload them to CodeCannon and make some pretty good bank. And then that way you can kind of pay, the machine pays for itself. That's the end goal. When I first actually got Pixio, that's what I did too. I made sure Pixio paid for itself, and it with designing skateboards and whatnot, and I don't even have to do anything. It's just constantly running on a website. So yeah.
Cash Money, you're always on the money, Cash. It's so it's so smart though. That's how I'm thinking about these tools too, right? So I'm using them. It has to really bring in something, right? And of course, if you're an artist, it's just a different thing that, everybody has their way. But I think AI can really enrich all of us. If it's in form of educating others, if it's going the artist route and then doing really cool stuff for awesome companies. If it's doing what we're doing now, building and sharing with others and taking money for them, using your tools, it can go numerous ways. I'm still, you got to focus on something because you can get really overwhelmed very quickly. But as soon as you have that flow and you understand what's going on, you're going to make money with this. You just have to go for it, really. And use Cash Money. You've been monetized from day one almost. That's awesome. That's so cool. Smart, very smart.
And Ross mentioned it earlier too. Like you can scale with these tools. Even if you're, it's not like I can even afford the highest tier, enterprise machine subscription right now. I don't think anybody solo can do that. It's really, like Ross mentioned, if you have 10,000 people in your business, and you already have those clients lined up and whatnot, and you're pumping out website updates or very, very high end code updates, stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, with everything that we're going through right now today, though, I did want to add in a little point. I'm pretty sure the mark of the code that you have to change is 80%. I could be wrong there. Correct me if I'm wrong, Ross, but you need to have like at least 80% of this code structure completely different, like Ross is doing on screen. You're noticing now like the squares are completely different from what we started with earlier. So yeah, I just want to put that out there so nobody gets in trouble later on if you're choosing to go to production, sell, your workflow in some way as a SaaS after this class.
You get in trouble. It's just not proper. Right? We wouldn't yell at you. It's just you would want to be unique. Spend your time making it look really pretty because we spent the time making it work right. You can literally spend time on the funnest part, the prettiness.
I'd yell at him for you, Ross. And it's good practice though too, because let's say you go to GitHub in a future project and you're using a different template, you can get the DMCA or the cease and desist to take it down, and then your business is gone overnight, and all your hard work and whatever you put into it is just gone like that.
I'm actually loving this, by the way. Really good.
Little side question for you, Ross. I did see 2.5 Gemini Pro had a little update. Do you think it's better than Claude 3.7?
No.
Now to help us with simple code and stuff like this.
No. Definitely no. I would say close, but no. So I'm getting to a point where I really do like this. What do you guys think? What it did? Look. This is what AI Tutor did.
Ooh, I like that.
The parallax is sick. You see how it's like completely changed, guys? We'll go here.
Nope, Ross is still there, loves. He's just not talking.
I'm thinking. I can't think and talk and code like the brain can only do.
I can't think and talk and code.
Like thinking and coding and talking all at the same time uses all different parts of your brain.
Just read out what when you're typing it. Read
So
it out.
what we're doing is
I was
first,
gonna say the typos are crazy.
oh, 'cause I don't care about all.
Perps. Perps. It still understands it. That's the great thing.
Just don't, yeah, because I built it too. I'm like, I don't want to deal with that. Like I
Build it
deal with
to
enough in
understand
life.
it.
You think I'm gonna worry about how to spell the word anything or like any word at all?
I get you, man. Because like when you're doing so much and you just start typing and you're like, get a word wrong, I'm like, screw it. I ain't going back and fixing that.
Okay, like I'm over it. So this worked. AI Tutor killed it. So, okay, so I basically recoded a large chunk of the site. Mainly this section, which is like brand new, really separating it out from the pack. And I love it because it's like interactive, it's kind of engaging. And then we have this, which we're probably not going to keep. And then this, we're going to also change into some like amazing, cool, like we're going to get to that. And like, yeah, I could be like, oh, who wants my template? All of you. But like, what's the point? We'll ask Blue Hair. Blue Hair, what would be the point of me releasing this template? Give me one actual good reason.
Because learning it for yourself and owning it and voiding the warranties means that you own it and you aren't, just
No, I
click,
know
click,
the
clicking.
little benefit, but what's the benefit to them of me giving this page? Because like the idea is not to use it again. It do what I'm doing. So I don't know if it will help you, but I'll give it. But I just don't.
You know what? Here's the thing. Okay, so I can see both sides of this coin, Ross. But the thing is that if it's in my ecosystem, it's like being a chipmunk and then just stealing all of the bird seed. You don't even eat bird seed. And you just steal it and take up space and everything else. You gotta, yeah. That's all I'm gonna say about that. But I know that there are gonna be people that want it, but they don't really need it. It's like sometimes it's a security blanket, and honestly, it's like an artist that has their own paint kit, right? You can have the stuff that other people give you, the standard box colors, but guess what? If you tweak them and make them yours, then you have a signature. You got something that belongs to you. And so that's whenever you ask questions like that. But I might not be asking or answering the question in the way that you want
No, I
because
mean
you caught me mid DM.
I don't care at the end of the day, right? Like I just care about
Well,
like
what answer did you want to hear? Put it this way.
an answer. I just say it won't benefit. Like there's no benefit
Exactly.
giving you.
I hear Alisher and Nick on that.
I'm gonna do it, but like you don't want to use this as your thing, basically. Because like I'm not gonna go live with it, but like what if one of you do? Then two of you have the same, So you can learn from it.
It's like you leaving, like we had mentioned in the very opening segment. All right. You got to make it yours. You want to be professional. You want to be in the public square, look competent, right? And the things that you choose to own, whatever it is, that you own your experience. This is your choose your own adventure, right? One, you can talk about it more fluidly. It's yours. You know how you got it. You know how things are derived. If you're building this website out, you have a deeper understanding, and it's not going to help you. Is exactly right. If you need a security blanket, fine, go ahead. But the reality is that, and I know this is going to come across the wrong way, but please understand my heart. It's kind of like Pinterest, where everybody goes around, they collect their mood boards, they fill it all up, and then they do nothing with it. It's like you're constantly, hoarding digital stuff that, not just clogs your computers and clogs your mind, right? It's clutter and it's not going to get used. And you're going to look at it, and in the middle of the night, when you haven't had sleep, you don't have enough coffee, you're going to look at it and think in your head, I have to use this somehow because it's at my fingertips and I wouldn't have saved it if it wasn't important. And then you expend all that energy on things that really should not have been spent on. And it happens all the time, you know. And that's one of the things that I've learned. I am not a developer. I don't play one on TV. I have 1,000 tabs open, but that's because I'm neurotic and that's just the way it is. I'm a collector of open tabs. And you know what? It shoots me in the foot every freaking time because not only do I kill my technology, my kids accuse me of giving the a cancer because there's so much, that's using all of the bandwidth. But in the long and the short of it, and the reality is that I'm leaving these tabs open because I don't want to forget something, or I need to make sure that it's always there. It's a security blanket. But the reality is if I was practicing good hygiene when it comes to my computer and my files, then they should have been at my fingertips anyway. And so, those are the kinds of things that you have to think through. Are there certain things that you're definitely going to hoard? Absolutely. Passwords, right? Analog, you know, and every layer of friction that is in the way where you are going and hunting and gathering, or you're going to have to physically write out a password, or you're going to have to do something to make it yours. Not only are you going to know what it is, you're going to know where it is, you're going to know why you have it, and you're not going to have any excess. And that's ultimately what you're trying to do. Because in AI, here's the other thing too. I learned this from Sharon and also from Alisher, is that I don't need all of the things. I just need the thing that works. And that's the reality of it. I don't need to have all of the movie making stuff because I'm not a movie maker. I'm a prop maker, right? So I'm definitely going to figure out how to make my 3D models and my CAD, but that's not going to make any difference to the people who are, wanting to make full length movies. It's like, I don't need all of the tools. And part of being a Gen Xer or a feral Gen Xer, right, is that you feel like, well, I have to keep this because someday I might need it. I get it, especially with like GitHubs, right? There are some that I have hunted and gathered and I found, and I was stupid because I didn't fork them because now I need them and they're no longer there. That's the 1-800-JUSTIFY call there. But, handing out a bunch of, trick or treat candies and little who's it's and what's it's from Nick Alisher and Ross, it's not going to help you in this case. These are empty calories, and you got to save it. Save those carbs for something else. But that's my own soapbox. Did I give you enough time and energy and at least answer some of it, Ross?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Excellent. Okay, very good, very good.
But I'm gonna share it, but I just want you guys to understand the sharing. I mean, you should be redesigning,
Void the warranties, folks. You gotta own it. The other thing too is, okay, so one other thing, and this is really important. Alisher said this last Thursday, and it was really important. You are all competing for a big prize. Whether you win, lose, or draw is irrelevant. Having a finished product, you win. It's just, you've done something, you have something to show for it. You should be proud of it. Whether it wins first prize or not is, that's just gravy. That's icing on the cake. But the fact of the matter is that if you haven't, changed it, made it yours, then what's the point? I'm saying this out loud, and I hope none of my real students in real life art students hear it. We'll have, paint and sip parties, right? That sometimes somebody will hire you and you have 30 people in a room and they're drinking wine. And here's the thing. We have to make sure that we're giving them a good experience and that they leave with a finished project, I should say, that they can be proud of, that they can put in their kitchens, that they can, it looks wonderful. But you know what? At the end of the day, they all look the same. Why? Because they had the same materials, they had the same instructions, they had the same idea, and they came into class thinking, I really like that picture of lilacs in a vase, and I want that. And you know what? It deprives them of learning and getting out of your comfort zone and making it your own. You could use the same thing and make a vase of irises or something else. You have the ability to make your mark on the world. And I think that proof of human is something that's really powerful, that you have an idea that's within you, and you should be valuing yourself, valuing your time, valuing your story, valuing, this little nugget of an idea, this little spark that you have within that you need to kind of nurture and cultivate. You owe it to yourself to go the extra mile. You know, taking a lazy way out just to say, yep, I checked the box and I got it done. I think most of the time you'll learn more, if it doesn't look anything like Nick Alisher and Ross's. And maybe if you frack it up a few times, you'll even own it more, because then you understand it. Having, showing up for the test and getting a solid A, doesn't necessarily mean that you know the material. It means that you know how to study and you know how to regurgitate what the professor wanted you to do. And you have exactly what they told you to do. But when it comes down to it and, the rubber meets the road and you actually have to solve something, or, you're an Apollo mission and you're up there in space and you have all of these things and you don't have a calculator, you got a piece of paper, you got to know your calculus at that point, because otherwise, you're going to perish or whatever. It's the same kind of thing here, is that when you're hacking your own education, you're only accountable to yourself. That's it. You don't have anything to prove to any of us. You have to look yourself in the mirror and say, did I show up? Did I give 100%? Did I make it mine? Or am I just leaving something, that is like it belongs to somebody else? And I hope that you're all becoming the people that say, nah, win, lose, or draw, this one I own. If it sucks, I still own it. It's mine. Our babies, when you look at your babies, they're never ugly, right? Your baby is never ugly. That's the thing. So I hope that that's, enough of a pep talk. Make it yours.
And
Shine.
Cash Money asked, I just saw it, if you guys have questions. So I'll chill here for a minute. I need a break. My voice box hurts, but I just want you guys to see casual chat, casual development, me with the AI tutor. Look at this. Look how gorgeous this is. Look how different this is from where I started.
Purdy, purdy, purdy.
Look at a whole different website. And this was Alisher's idea. It's called Bento Box. But yeah, if you
It
guys,
looks so good.
yeah, and I'll show you so you guys can use it. But if you have questions, you can ask. But this is really the most rawest way to code. There's no cursor. There's no completion IDE. There's no windsurf. I'm just feeding calculated code to AI and getting targeted changes back. And most of this has been one shot, by the way. It's pretty good. Claude's being a good boy today. So if you have any questions, feel free to ask.
Okay, I have a question. Well, Claude is not a boy. Claude is a girl. What are you talking about?
Claude's whoever you want it to be.
Hey, but you can't mess up my illusion. That's not okay.
That's not a real question.
Claude is actually Claudette in my world too. It's kind of funny. If I'm yelling at it, but ChatGPT is male. It's so weird. Like I didn't really realize that. I'm like, come on, Claudie, you can do it. Yep.
Yeah, same
It
with
just
me.
depends. Yep. It depends on which one you use the most. But see, this is the other thing, folks. Last season we talked about workflows, and I think it was Sharon that mentioned it earlier. Workflows are really important, right? You own them. One of the things I think it's in my timeline. I know I definitely talked about it in Humans Make Cool Things. There was an article, and it was funny because I think Scoble actually, I stole it from him fair and square, but it showed it was a girl that had never stepped foot in a school and was talking about how she got almost a perfect score on her SATs. Out of the 11 AP classes she took, all except for 5, she got solid 5s on, which means the best rating, except for the handful of them, and she got a 4. So you have this kid who is an absolute stellar student who has learned how to do everything. And the fact is, she didn't have a teacher. She never stepped into a brick and mortar school. She leaned really heavily into AI and said, teach me how to pass this test. Because she'd been a hack schooler her entire life. And my own children, same way. They're self-initiated learners. And I will tell you, self-initiated topic du jour, pick your poison, will always be greater than a forced fun activity, right? The workflow that you own is yours, and it will always be monumentally better than anything somebody else has created, because you've thought through the process. You've figured out what your why is. You understand your end game, and you've created this thing. And you're saying, okay, AI, I want you to help me create these steps, right? And I think that's very interesting when you start using these tools. Like Claude is a superpower, but just a beast, right? And when you start finding your groove, whatever it is that you're trying to solve, whether you're making movies, you're making content, some of you are making adult content, some of you are making other things, AIs that are on various platforms making money for you, shaking their money makers, whatever they're doing, right? Fill in the blank. You all have your choice in terms of the path that you're going to take, the tools that you're going to use, and you'll use whatever is on hand. If something goes down, for instance, railway or whatever, runway, whatever product that you lean heavily into, let's say some of these disappear, and they will. One of the things that happens when you have emerging technologies is you have a proliferation moment where everything is just everywhere, and everybody's doing a startup. If you're in some of these incubators, Y Combinators, etc., in San Francisco, everybody and their sister, they're up all night 24/7 trying to capture the AI lightning in a bottle. Everybody wants the unicorn, everybody wants to create something, and they're all hoping that they just get absorbed, bought out, exit strategy, right? And you're going to have a consolidation of tools. Eventually, your choices are going to go away. And it's interesting because sometimes when you have fewer choices, you make better decisions. Because, there are studies, and I'm stealing this also from something that I had consumed recently. If you go into a store and you have 100 different things, it could have been Innovators Think Tank on Saturday. You have 100 different things on a shelf. You have a higher chance of just looking everything on the shelf and not going and buying anything, right? That is statistics. That's, game theory 101. When a human is presented with 100 different options, they will have that paralysis in terms of making a choice. If you have 4 things, you'll pick usually the cheapest one, or the one that you have a perceived, biased towards, right? It's the same. And right now, a lot of you are going to have to make some hard choices because, necessity. and if that means you only have a handful of things, Ross just made this look pretty using not the big kahunas, just using basics. And I think that's really important too, is that, you're going to use whatever you feel most comfortable with and what's at your fingertips. And if you are conditioning yourself to have that muscle memory, to learn these kinds of things and to be very, very familiar with them, you know what? If something goes wrong and something goes wonky, you understand how everything works, and you can lean heavily into your own skill set and your own quiver, because the acquisition of skills, there's something crazy amazing about it. The world, circumstances, everything. They can burn your house down. They can take away your stuff. They can steal everything in your bank account. They can take everything, but they cannot take the skills that you have owned, that you've earned, and that you have a command and competency over. So, the long and the short of it is that each of you have that. You might not feel confident in your skills yet, but you know what? When you pop into some of these AI spaces and they start throwing out words and, comfy is one of the most, I would say, comfy, DigitalOcean, Vercel. You don't see those stock tickers very often, but you know what? They're commanding massive amounts of money. right? These are the companies that are going to be the FANG, your Facebook, your Amazon, your Netflix, your Google in the very near future. So, you're playing with technology and as a first mover adopter, which I think is really, really cool. So you just have to kind of marinate on that for a bit too. So at any rate, I think it's really cool. Ross is probably getting something to eat. I hope that he had a piece of cheesecake.
And we're gonna start cooking soon though.
Very good, very good. But nonetheless, these are the kinds of things. And so if Ross is ready, I just do want to say it's 9:00, so we've been here for 3 hours. We usually tie it up at 10, sometimes 10:30. But for those of you that do have to go, it's okay. Thursday morning, we are going to do Thursday or tomorrow morning, same time, same place at 11:00. It's usually 13 hours after we close up shop tonight. And those of you that didn't do your homework, you got some time and you can dot all the I's and cross the T's and take it for a test drive tomorrow. And then you've got a whole week to work on the rest of it. And the back channels are wide open. So don't sell yourself short. You've showed up for 5 weeks. See it through. Finish what you started and make a good go of it. This is the 7th inning and bases are loaded and you're going up to bat and you're going to have to run the bases, and it might be a close close call at home, but you're going to slide into base, voiding the warranties, no regrets, leaving it all on the field. Win, lose, or draw, you've played your best game. And that is the key, is that, you got to play your best game. You got to be present to even win, even have a chance of winning. So go ahead, Ross.
No, I made our new logo for Gen Run. See that cool tilted G with the little magic flying out of it? That was made right now in Pixia. It's pretty cool.
Very cute. I see your face on there. That's lovely.
Now this looks totally different. Alisher looked at it just now and he was like, wow, this is different. And that's what you want, right? You want something that is specific to your brand. I just made this up, like right now. You can see all my prompts in Pixia right here. Tried some stuff in Creative. I tried all the stuff. Creative won today, actually. So Creative built the Gen Run logo one shot. Pretty crazy. And if you want an SVG. Well, then I brought it right into OpenAI, and then I removed the background and the text. Amazing. So useful. And all of that just happened with no credits on Pixia, and that's amazing. But yeah, any questions? Because now my website is really kind of what I want. This is what the homework was, people. This is the homework. Any questions on like what we wanted to do, like the expectation? Even if it was a little high, the expectation? Does everyone understand what I wanted you to do?
I think that's an affirmative. They're either working in the background, which I think is most. You've either guilted them into doing something, or my soapbox worked, or at least they're blowing smoke bubbles, or little whatevers, and chasing glitter or whatever's in the mouth. Yeah, they're all busy. But here's the thing, guys. Alisher usually does your homework for you on Thursdays. In a weird kind of twisted way. You get it done all the way to the almost part. So if you were there Thursday morning, you already had it done. And so, it is one of those 1-800-JUSTIFY things. I know how you're busy and I know that you're, all of the fill in the blanks. But here's the thing. No one's going to care about you like you care about you. No one's going to care about your business like you care about your business. No one's going to care about your health the way that you care about your health. You can pay mercs You know, you can pay someone to care. You can pay for someone to cry at your funeral too. You know, you can pay for all of those folks. But the long and the short of it is, at the end of the day, you have to ask yourself why you're here. And if you're here to, uh, have camaraderie with people that believe in you, and you have those warm fuzzies, and it's just one of those things where you kind of, it rubs off on you if people are being very successful or, productive. I get it. There are some moments that's all you can do, and that's what you show up for. And you know what? That's what you have to do. But each of you have to ask your why. And we asked you to do that last week or the week before. And if you haven't written it down, this is a really important moment, because we live in an age where anything is possible. And now you actually don't have any excuses. You have zero excuses. It used to be that you could have maybe a few or a handful, but you have zero excuses. You have every single tool at your fingertips, whether they're free or whether it's subscription. You can get by with free for a little bit until you have to scale up. But by that time, scaling up, you should have some dinero coming in to offset it. You can't deficit spend your way into prosperity, right? You kind of have to figure it out and create that roadmap. And if you haven't done that yet, we're in week 5. Guess what? Just take a deep breath and ask your AI tutor, ask whatever large language model of choice, hey, you know what? I need a business plan. I need a checklist. I need to understand my why. I need to understand my exit strategy. I need to understand how I'm going to outsource myself. Because you know what? There's a big difference between someone's work and someone's job. Jobs can grind you down to nubs. Work will still make you grind, but it'll polish you up into the gems you're supposed to be. And that's just the reality of it. So I hope you own it. Own it, own it, own it. All right. Ross, you finished everybody's homework. Now, you still have stuff left to disseminate amongst the masses. Everybody understands the assignment, right? What are your expectations? What would you say is a successful project at the end of the day, one that you think is worthy of $33,000 worth of GPUs? What boxes would have to check for you? I know which ones for me, but I'm curious what
Just like really going and changing. Like, look what I'm doing. I'm literally fundamentally altering the way that this thing looks. And I'm making mistakes. Like, look, there's some issues here. It's gonna fix it. AI will fix it. But look how nice and different this looks already. It just redesigned what Alisher had. And just so we're like clear, I can Command Z 2 times, and you can just see it live. What changes? This is what it was, right? Just look, guys. Check this out. Here's what it is. Just so we're totally clear on what like 2 minutes of code could do. Totally redesigned. Nice.
I mean, this site is really cool. Alisher really did a great job. And I love your logo, what you did there in Pixio. That's really awesome. How long
Pixio is
did
a powerhouse.
It is. How long did it take Alisher to do this?
I don't know. That's an Alisher question.
Thinking, I don't know, maybe like a week.
Wow. Thanks so much, Alisher. This is crazy.
It is pretty wild. Okay. Ooh, I like what it's doing. I like this. So we just gotta figure out what this stupid purple thing is. Well, other than that, this is awesome looking. Nice. Claude gets it.
Well, Claude is the most fancy LLM on the block, so. And I hated it at the beginning, but it's the best. Even if you guys do like these 3JS visualizations or anything in 3D, just use Claude. Don't even waste your time with any other model. Claude will do the job for you.
Yeah, Claude's crazy. And I just love telling AI what I hate. And it just redoes it. It's amazing. But like, look at this. It's really different, guys. This is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm expecting. Like, when I go to the homepage, I don't even want to recognize it. I want to be like, wow, this looks crazy. This I would see that this would be like completely done, almost homework. It's just this like
That might just be
cache issue right here, but we'll see.
Yeah, this should be one.
That's okay. It's not
I
real.
got you.
It's not real.
Yeah.
And this definitely is cache because it's 40. But I can clear cache. That's easy. Have it reload itself. Oh no. I guess it's like something else. There must be another place where it is or something. So it's good there. It's not on the homepage. But yeah, so you guys, the idea is to like change it around. Sure, it's not gonna work for a shot every time. Like right now, this is my second try with this, and I'm keeping the old code in case I need to go backwards. I have it right here. So let's see what he did. Oh, perfect. This is really nice.
Call that Tic Tac Orange.
So I like this, the tips, right? So we could tell him, give me this code again completely, but each tab has the nice info tips. Any questions while I'm doing this? This is literally how I code with AI all the time. This is the reality of me using AI to code. This is it. This is the like magic part where everyone's like, how do you do it? This is what I do. I'm just like, nope, I hate it. Fix it. And then it fixes it. And it looks good. Like, this looks good. I love the stats. It's so nice. This is like, I would say, an elevation from the original template. This interface. Like, this looks awesome. But yeah, that's kind of what I want you guys to do. And like, yeah, you're going to have problems. Like, this logo on the homepage looks crazy. And I don't know why. But that's like a different problem. Because navbar is supposed to be like everything. So it's on the homepage inside of our friend marketing where that issue is. So it's probably defined somewhere. Towards the top. But yeah, any questions on like what I'm expecting of you guys to do? And what I mean by redesign. Because like, this is what I mean. Like, change it up. Like, really change it up.
It's the equivalent of they're basically wearing a, you know, an Bee Gees kind of, you know, whole entire outfit, you know, doing the Saturday Night Fever. And when he says change it up, it means you go a totally different era. You wear, you know, a totally different outfit. Maybe, you know, a long skirt, you know, that has to be dressed up completely different. You should really not have very much of the original there. You know, you may be able to have hints of it, but the reality is, you know, at the end of the day, what is your why? Your why is that you want to profit from your labor unapologetically. You want to make some dinero. You want to learn a skill that's monetizable. At the end of the day, that is your goal. Your goal, can also be altruistic. You want to change the world. You want to do everything else. But the long and the short of it is you still have to eat. And you still have to have the lights on, and you still have to be able to pay for all of your addictions in terms of your AI cohorts, etc. So think it through, figure it out, find out what it is. What are you going to profit from? Your niche idea, whatever it is, and then you're going to make it yours. People are going to have to look at all of these, and if you've done your job at the end of the day, they'll say, oh my gosh, that's totally a Morgan. That's totally Cash Money. You know each other well enough now. You know your tells. We can almost all play poker together. We know exactly, each other's tells, because this is the 8th season. It's been almost a year for almost all of us. There are a handful of newbies, and that's awesome, because you're going to come around and you're going to figure it out. You'll know when, there's an uncomfortable giggle, or, that Ross, when he has his caffeinated squirrel moments, what those tells are. I can pick Julie Todd's workout of a lineup very easily now. She has a very distinctive style. Your work should be able to speak for you when you don't have the words or a voice to do so for yourself. Just like any other brand, right? Any other brand should be able to speak on your behalf when you have no words. When you see a Nike swoosh, or you see an Apple, or you see Pixio has a very distinct color palette, doesn't it? Tech in Schools has a very distinct color palette. You understand what all of those tools are going to look like, because you work with them every day. You have that kind of vibe. You know exactly what it's going to look like. And that is part of this whole entire exercise. It's not just learning the new skills. It's also coming together with a cohesive message. And if your AI cohort isn't creating that cohesiveness, it's not because of the AI. It's because you are not sure or clear about your inputs. And that is something that is a soft skill. Just like when we say that, playing in Slack, for instance, is a soft skill. You have to learn how to manage and wrangle cats, and have those teams and everything else. And for a lot of people, that was totally foreign to them. So that's why Slack channels are important, because you need to run your team, because you're a solopreneur in an interesting point on the timeline of history, right? It's the same. It's like you're going to have to learn soft skills, which would also include, hey, in a legacy system, if I'm using a very specific, I always say Louboutins, so just understand. But if you're wearing the fancy shoes with the red soles, that red sole is patented, right? They're going to use that forever and ever. Amen. Tiffany will never use another color other than what Tiffany uses. And you can find it in a crowd. You have each of these vibes. And so what I'm asking you is, take the extra mile and make your brand speak for you when no one else will, because ultimately that's how you're going to be judged on. We're not going to know who made what. And the people that we're asking to come to the table to help judge these things, they don't know you from Adam. They're just going to look at the way that the whole entire presentation comes before them. What is it going to say about you? Right? Are you scattershot like a flashlight? It's kind of lightening up the room and it's making everything glow and it's warm and fuzzy. Or are you a laser beam that is very, very skilled, pointed, and able to cut through all the rest of the noise? That's what you ultimately have to ask for. So hopefully that leads you on the right direction. I don't know if that will or not, but you have tonight to marinate on it. And tomorrow morning, we are going to meet once again, a little over 13 hours. Alisher will be our hostess with the mostest. He's going to lead us down the primrose path and cover everything that we did tonight. If this is your last, interaction with all of us until next week, you guys are going to go on to greatness. You know, you're doing something that other people are unwilling to do. And you know what? You're going to live and experience a life that others are not going to be able to do either. You know, it is one of those things. You're sacrificing, you're hacking your own education. It's not easy. Sometimes, you know, eking out just a time to sit and think. You know, we had Mother's Day this past weekend, and I was telling my husband, I remember the time where I would close the bathroom door, and that was the only solace, the only peace that I would have all day with 3 kids running around the house. When you have maker spawn, you have holes in drywall, you have yelling and screaming, and you have all of the noise. And I would sit there with my back against the door and just sit, not even using any of the facilities. It was the one moment, right? You're taking your one moment from the rest of the world. You're closing the door and you're saying, you know what? I'm going to invest in me, right? So hopefully you'll do that. All right. So Ross has definitely had a live mic the whole entire time. He's just sitting there and he's kind of laughing and carrying on. But those are my final thoughts, folks. So marinate on what your why is and make sure that it's speaking for you on your behalf, because you're not going to get to explain all the bells and whistles. They're just going to look at it. And you want to make sure that they're not seeing more of Nick, Alisher, and Ross in that template, because you know what? They can't win. They're not allowed to go away with the winning prize. And if people are seeing them instead of you, there it is. All right. I am done. I hope you have a wonderful evening, folks. Ross, what are your final thoughts? What are the final closing things? And then you can hand it off to Cash Money.
Do your homework, please, because without you redesigning it, we can't help you bring this to public. We could, it just won't really actually be real, right? Wouldn't you want to make it real and make it actually have your stripe and your design exactly what it's supposed to?
Yeah, guys, think of it this way. You're essentially right now kind of building a mock-up, and then once you win that 3 months of Pixel API,
Oh my god, yeah,
you'll be
someone's
able to
winning
build
that.
the backend.
That's crazy.
Like, you don't even have to do what
Ooh.
I'm doing in this template here, where it has like 3 tabs. You can just do whatever product you're building. Just essentially change this front end. And then once you win, you'll be able to build out the backend and all the image and video generation stuff.
It's true. And you know,
You're no
even,
longer a puppet, guys. You get to be a real kid.
yeah. And it's really important that you replace, you reset everything and make it like yours, like change it. We don't want, you don't want to launch, you want to launch something that has your brand on it. So like this is still kind of purple. I was not lazy, but I was just going slow. So like ideally you can even change the colors, but even if you didn't, I mean, this is enough of a change to be like, this is not the template, you know? So I'm going to
But is
release
it
this
enough to
code.
win? That's the question. It's not
I
just
mean,
enough
here's the
to
thing.
judge.
No,
You
it's
want to
not.
win.
But someone has to win. That's the nature of games, right? So if someone got this far and they were like the only one, like kind of where we are today, then they would probably win, because that would be the currently like the best thing. But I urge you all to try and redesign it completely, because your blue hair is going to have to pick a winner.
I've got cohorts. It's not just blue hair. I got cohorts. They're much, much more strict than I am. So yeah, you want to blow them.
I feel like he's gonna add like old in front of that, like old blue hair over there. You know? I feel you're not.
I'll own it.
I don't know.
I'll own it. Not a problem.
You are not old at all. I'm just saying. It just sounds like that would be the name of it. We'll see old blue hair over there. Never mind. I'm gonna shut up. Did not to call you old.
Yeah, see, I didn't say that. You said that. You changed it.
I'm old too, Ross. You know.
For those that don't know, I lost a bet. You know, that's the whole thing. And the group of kids, I should say, that I lost the bet to, the last one graduated. So technically, I can change my avatar now. But if I did, No one would
Oh,
recognize me. Even in public, when they see me teaching,
right.
they're like, they anticipate, they expect, they think that I have blue hair. I do not. And so it's very funny because it was either the blue hair for literally 6 years or 7 years, I guess it is now, or running through Bass Pro dressed in Thor cosplay, saying that I am the god of thunder. And I did not want that on the internet for the rest of my life. So it happens. And I don't mind being a blue hair because you know what? Anything that we can do to incite and kind of instigate, cross pollinate, be the pollinator of awesome. Every one of those kids graduated. And I'll tell you, they graduated from a school district where there is only an 8% graduation rate. Only 8% of the kids that start in ninth grade make it to 12th grade. And every single kid on those robotics teams graduate. So, those are the kinds of things
Wow.
I am willing to do stupid and silly to make sure that folks follow through. And you know what? Same here. I'm willing to do stupid to make sure each of you are successful because you know what? The world needs you. They need these ideas. They need these, random things that you're innovating because it's not about you, actually. It's not about even your win. It's not about how you're going to make money. It has nothing to do with that. When you put something like that out into the wild, just like all of those GitHubs that are open source, they're there because they felt compelled to build it. But you know what? It's the catalyst to build something even bigger, something beyond ourselves. And right now, that proof of human really matters. And it's like when you give a gift to someone, it's not about, yes, you are encouraged and you are made a better human when you give of yourself. But there's also a gift in receiving too, because it allows someone to give, and that's kind of one of those things. And nonprofit here too, it's not about the grant money, it's the opportunity to give and to receive, because that is what it means to be human, is to be able to give a little, take a little, and build each other up. Because when we're building each other up, guess what? We're building our own humanity in the same little breath. And I'm telling you, the world needs your stuff, because otherwise we're all living in a silo, we're all living in an echo chamber, and we're not going to progress as a human race. And that's what it is. All of us, we have almost every time zone, or every continent except for, the really, really cold places. But we've got 6 continents that are represented in our classes in this digital makerspace. The 40 some odd people that are taking classes are dotted all over the world. We all speak different languages. We have different experiences. We have different social, economic ecosystems, architectures. We have different religions, but we're one humanity. And we're all here because we want to build something that is bigger than us and that will outlast us. And that, I think, is pretty spectacular. It is a very deep privilege. I know I speak for Cash Money Kev, and I definitely speak for the 3 boys. I'd speak for Mattia too. I'll steal that one. And probably Josh Hellman also. I can almost guarantee it. There's something profoundly special about these classes, and it is a tremendous privilege to say, hey, yeah, I was spending Wednesday night making sure people were playing nice in the sandbox and asking, doing my part. I don't know what Ross and Nick and Alisher know. I really don't. Sometimes I do, but most times I don't. It goes right over my head. And I'm sitting in the seat just like all of you guys thinking, man, this is driving me batty. I can't even see that screen. I need to get my readers out. What the heck? I'm in the same boat.
Not that old.
But at any rate, guys. All right. So the world needs your idea. And if we have to light a fire under your tail and make you feel uncomfortable, so be it. Let the campfires begin. I'm handing out the s'mores. Go ahead, Cash Money.
I'm with you there, Sarah. All the way, all the way. You got me laughing. You got me laughing so much my earpiece is literally falling on my head. But guys, like Sarah said, don't beat yourself up. But what I do want you to do is get your projects done by next week. Work your booty off. There's 3 months on the line of runway for your business to go into production, with thanks to Ross, and that's a once in a lifetime opportunity, right? In the time that we're at with AI and everything, you could be the next business that has a huge impact on the world, and you literally done what the class is made for. Bring your idea to impact. So I just want to I want to see completed projects next week, completely change stuff, and it's going to be awesome, guys. I'm telling you, it's going to be absolutely mind blowing, and it's such a relief when you come and show off your project. You're gonna be like, I killed it this season. I didn't waste 6 weeks, generating images or whatever with Comfy instead of actually building something. You guys actually put your mind to the work. But without further ado, guys, have a great rest of your night.
Wait, Kev,
Oh yeah,
tell him. Tell him the good news.
the good news. Oh, are you talking about the Bolt hackathon?
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. I love it, Morgan. Thank you for the reminder. But Morgan, what Morgan was saying is, I did announce, guys, in the ITT community. I just made a quick post about it last week, that if any of you want to participate in a hackathon, it's up and coming in 16 days. And with our team, you can make a team. With our team, it's going to be the AI Tutor X Pixio team, and that's what we're going to use only. And I think it'd be hilarious / really cool if we win the hackathon without even using Bolt, and we use our partners here, Tech and Schools, to win it. And I think that'd be award worthy for a hackathon. So if you guys want to join me in that, DM me. Let's get it done. I think it'd be really fun, and I think we have a pretty good shot, thanks to our teachers here and what we've learned over the past year. We have a pretty good shot of winning it. So yeah, keep an eye out,
Kev,
guys.
the good news was that I joined your team. that I'm going to do it with you now.
Yes,
because I was going to do it alone.
That is the true good news. Morgan is the co-captain. She's going to be killing it with me. So I love it. Thank you, Morgan.
Thanks, Kev.
You're awesome. You're awesome.
I love you, buddy. Seriously.
You're the best. And for the last little bit of close notes, guys, keep an eye out for ITT number 88. And like Sarah said, we did have our 2-year anniversary last week. And if you didn't get to see that, I urge you just to go, check it out a little bit, especially the first few minutes. Josh has a pretty cool speech that's pretty heartwarming, and the whole thing is amazing. But if you only got a little time, definitely go check out that speech. It's amazing. Also, we got some summer attire coming in the merch store. Keep an eye out for that. And yeah, I think that's about it. We got the recap tomorrow.
One more thing. I totally forgot. So anyone today who finished everything, you can still message me. But anyone who actually has a GPU and has like a paid account, it's fully updated today with the latest Comfy. So I think I'm going to have a short 15-20 minute live stream right after this with Sharon. She just doesn't know yet. She knows now though. We're just going to show you how to update your machine to version 34, which is the latest version of Comfy that supports every single thing, all 133 new nodes. So look out for that shortly after this phase. Sharon, you volunteered.
Let's go share.
Awesome. I'm going to stop by that for sure. Awesome, Ross. And I just want to thank you, Ross, Nick, and Alisher, for doing this, and also Sarah for being here, the co-host with the most. You guys are awesome. We'll see you tomorrow. Everybody have a good rest of your night. Go check out